Hi guys, today we're going to be making our Halloween cookies. So what you're going to need to make these is 150 grams of butter, 150 grams of light brown sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 egg, 180 grams of plain flour, and in there I've put a little pinch of salt, just about a quarter teaspoon, and half a teaspoon of baking powder. And then we've got 200 grams of chocolate chips. I'm going to be using this today just because I've got it. But you can do this by hand, you can do it with a hand whisker as well, like we did in the last cupcake video. But I've got this, so I'm going to use it. So into this bowl, what I've done is I've left this butter out for quite a while, so now it's really soft. So I'm just going to pour that in there. And then in there I'm going to put the sugar as well. And what we're going to do is just like when we're making cupcakes, I'm going to put an attachment in. And then what we're going to do is basically we're going to put this on and it's going to cream all the butter and the sugar together, and it's going to go kind of really light and fluffy. Okay, so what we've done is we've mixed all that together, and you can see just there it's gone really pale, and much paler than it was when it first went in. That's basically because there's loads of air in there now. So what we're going to do into this is we're going to put the egg and the vanilla and we're going to mix that together. So crack an egg on the side, and then plop it in. I'm just going to put that there, and we're going to put the vanilla in as well. And we're going to again mix that up. Okay, so the egg is now mixed in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ditch the machine, switch to a wooden spoon, because what we don't want to do is make it too stodgy. So we want to keep some of that air in. So now we've got this mixture. What we're going to do is we're going to put all of that flour, baking powder and salt in, straight in there like that, and straight away all of the chocolate chips. And we're going to basically just use a wooden spoon to do this. You can do it with a food mixer, but I just like to do it this way, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to overwork it, because then they get really tough. So as soon as this is together and all the dough comes to a ball in the centre of the bowl, I'm going to stop. So now what we've got is chocolate chip cookie dough, and that's all we do. As soon as it's together, that's it. We don't need to preheat the oven, because what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the fridge and let it rest for a little bit. So just going to use some cling film, and we're going to plop it right in the middle of that cling film. So make sure you get all those chocolate chips, you don't want to let any of those go. Put that in the middle. Again, make sure you get all of it. And what we're going to do, we're just going to wrap it up. And it'll be really quite squidgy at this point. But what we're going to do is once it's in the fridge and it's cooled down, all that butter's going to start to solidify, and we're going to have a much tougher cookie once we bake it. So I'm just going to put this in the fridge for about half an hour just to cool down, and then we'll be back. So I've just taken this out of the fridge. It's been in the fridge for about half an hour. You can actually make this the day before and leave it in the fridge overnight, and it will taste a lot nicer. What you can also do is you can actually just freeze this cookie dough. What I'd recommend doing is freezing it into the balls that we're going to shape in a minute. And then you've just got cookies whenever you want them. But what I've done is I've lined 2 baking sheets with just some baking paper, and we're going to take little balls of the cookie dough and just roll them into a circle, into a little ball. We're going to put them on, and we're going to spread them out quite a lot, because what they'll do is they'll basically flatten out and look more like cookies. So I'm just going to spread them out. Probably going to put, I think, maybe 6 on each and see how much space we've got. And try and make them all the same size, just because then they'll cook at the same time and you won't have any burnt ones. So I've got 6 cookies on each tray, and that just means that they'll have space to spread out. I preheated the oven before to 180, so what we're going to do is put them in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, or until they've flattened out a lot and they're just kind of golden on top. So I'm going to wash my hands and then I'll put them in the oven. Now we wait. So I've taken them out of the oven. These ones rolled over a little bit and merged together, but it really doesn't matter. They'll still taste really good and they'll still look amazing at the end. So we're going to let them cool down completely until they're really cold, and then we'll decorate them and make them Halloweenified. So yeah. So the cookies are now completely cool and they look amazing. So now we're going to decorate them. What I've got is I've got 150 grams of chocolate. This is just milk chocolate. I've got 12 giant chocolate buttons, one for each cookie, and then I've got 24 eyes, which we're also going to put on. So there's 2 for each cookie. I've got a sandwich bag and I've got a pair of scissors as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to melt this chocolate. I'm going to do it in the microwave. If you do it in the microwave, just blitz it, do 10 seconds, stir it, 10 seconds, stir it, and so on until it's all melted, because you don't want to burn it. You can do it if you put the bowl over a pan of hot water. Again, ask an adult to help you with this step, because you can burn yourself. So I'm going to melt that and then we'll come back. So I've melted the chocolate and that is a bit warm, but what I've done is I've left it for about a minute and it's just cooled down a little bit. We're going to pour it all in this bag and then we're going to cut the corner off and it's going to be like a piping bag. I found the easiest way of pouring the chocolate in there rather than fiddling around with it is to put it in a glass, because then what you can do, put it in, you can just take the top and you won't get it all over the top and it won't be as messy. So now we have this bag of melted chocolate. Just going to squeeze the air out of it. And this is quite runny, so the minute we snip that corner, it will start pouring. So you need to be really careful and also quite quick. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little dab on each, and then we're going to stick a chocolate button over it. We're going to put 2 eyes onto it, onto the chocolate button, and then we're going to pipe 8 legs going off it. So what I'll do is I'll do the first one and then I'll show you, and then I'll blitz through the rest and we'll have a look. So this bit can get a bit messy, but you want to do a really small hole just in the corner of this bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold, I'm going to put a tiny drop in the middle of each of these cookies. You don't need a lot for this bit because this is just to stick the chocolate button on. Look at that, I'm already making a mess. Okay, so I'm just going to put a chocolate button in the middle of each of those cookies. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe the 8 legs first. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm just going to do a little bit on top of the body of the spider. And I'm going to stick 2 eyes. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just make the rest of them. I'll whiz through this bit and then we'll show you them. And then we can eat them once the chocolate's solidified. Okay. Okay, so all the spider cookies are now done. What I'll do is I'll just grab the camera and I'll show you. So this is what they look like. So they've got 2 eyes, they've got 8 legs, and they look like there's spiders all over the cookies for Halloween. So I've let it cool down a bit, so now you can probably see the spider because the chocolate started to solidify and the eyes won't fall off. And so now is the fun bit, we get to eat it. Oh. I don't know what I can say, it's a really, really good cookie. So we want to see your cookies. Remember, you can decorate them however you want. You don't have to do a spider. You could get some white chocolate and do mummies or anything like that. You can do exactly what you want. But if you do make these, send us pictures. Send them to seb.walker@threecirclesfostering.com or charlotte.andrew@threecirclesfostering.com. You'll see them below. Yeah, happy Halloween, guys.